Hi, welcome to the GF channel. In today's episode we are talking about light bulbs, backlights for buttons, climate control and touring computer. I do not have, unfortunately, with me a regular clock, but the regular clock is a simple T5 light bulb. That's an LED. Same should be for the ambient temperature. The clock that has an ambient temperature in it. Okay, now I have already done these with LED modifications, but exactly these, I use these LEDs. They actually burned out. It's cheap Chinese thing. First issue. Second issue, the LED is white, and apparently the coloring, it's green from the inside. It's inconsistent. Some lights are actually lighter green, the other ones are darker green. I tried cleaning from the outside, but problem is with how much paint there is on the inside. So the idea is to actually place strong green light, and that should at least minimize the effect. So there are lots of things you need to do, but first let's go with how to remove the buttons and these. From the left to right, remove here the panel, then unplug the plug, grab it, unplug the plug, grab it, and 3 times. Unfortunately, that's where the easy stuff goes. This one here, which is this one, is actually the most hardest thing you can get out of the interior probably of your car. So this one, let's push this one down. This one sits like that, and the clips are from the top like that, the top and the bottom. As you can see, you cannot reach from the top in any way. From the bottom you could, though. So the way that I actually remove this button twice, because that's my second time, the way that I remove this button, first reach beneath, push it and tilt the button upwards. Then use a flathead screwdriver to remove this cap from both sides, which will then allow you to, let me come closer, which will then allow you to use something sharp. That's where I actually use this tool. It's acne removal tool from China, and just stick it in here, which is going to push this one down and pull it out. You may need to push it back down on the bottom to release more from the top, and then when you actually are able to get it from the top, then reach again from the bottom and press it to take it out. I believe the same procedure should go for this button. This button is only on the latest 626 model. Mine has the space, as you can see, and the plug green there, but I do not have the board computer inside, and I'm trying to add it, so I'm also going to change the bulbs in this button just to prepare for the future. Then this one is also not that easy. You have to remove here, anyhow you have to remove it, and I actually pushed from the bottom and then started wobbling the whole thing until it actually popped out, because there's absolutely no way you can reach from the top. As you can see, there is again this possibility to place a flathead or something sharp and press it, but this is in the way and I do not know how to remove it. Then this one, well, this one with me, if you just grab it with 2 hands, one here and one here, and just pull it, it's going to get out, and then from here you can reach down to press the two metal clips that I already have removed. These metal clips, they're on both sides holding to this plastic to get this one out. Okay, that's how to get these out. Now, the light bulbs. As I said, I've already disassembled once upon a time these, and I have tried adding LEDs. For instance, this one is dead. It just died. This is how it looks like the original one. I have just rewired the LED, and I've used, let me show it like that, and I've used absolutely the same. I just disassemble it, and you disassemble it by removing the metal pins, straighten them and pull it out, and then use it again inside like that. So this, I believe, is a T3 light bulb, standard T3. You can get an LED. This time the plan is actually to use SMDs and point them to the proper direction. I have here quite a lot of SMDs, and I'm actually going to solder. I'm going to try to make them removable because just there isn't any space. I did try last time. I had issues, especially with this button. When you press and it actually reaches at the back the resistor and shortens. Not good. So this is removable. As you can see, this is removable, but I haven't used actually the removing part. There's no space. This is removable. So this is the traction. This is removable. The backlight change. The buttons that are actually having two buttons in them, they do not have light bulbs removable. They are soldered. So unfortunately you will need to do some soldering, even if you go and buy Chinese replacements with T3. Not going to happen for those two buttons. Then here is actually why I started the whole video, because I had a question in the comments, what's the bulb type inside of this, and I opened it, and when I opened it my bulb actually burned out. So these are actual bulbs. That's the bulb, the big bulb that is behind the display. It looks like this Chinese T4.2, but there is a big difference. So the diameter is the same, but as you can see right here, the contacts, electrical contacts, are all the way up to the this pin that holds the whole thing, not only at the bottom. While this one is only at the bottom. I did try some modifications here actually. Yes, on this side is more clear. It's only at the bottom. There's nothing on the top. Absolutely nothing on the top. And you need to have on the top, because as you can see there are no contacts here at the bottom. The contacts are all the way the other direction to the top. The other light bulb is again T3. And that's how it looks without removal. All of the light bulbs, they do have this greenish thing that you can remove. They're actually proper light bulbs. Okay, I did remove it. And that's how the light bulb looks like. Come on. Too small. Regular light bulb. You just unwire the legs of it, unwrap them from here and pull it. Then place the new ones, wrap them, and you're good to go. Now the hardest thing that is going to be a challenge to make LED is this one, because the buttons, the backlight goes through this hole, and this hole, and they are long. Now unfortunately I do not have my original sockets, but they are long ones. As you can see, the light bulb is quite long. Here I have left the legs long. So imagine the same thing, just the brownish thing is all the way up to somewhere middle of the LED or something like that. And the reason for that is because the LED needs to actually go, let me get something sharp, needs to go below here. The light reflects on the opposite side here, not on top. It reflects from here on all the buttons. So basically there is a light bulb here which should be long enough like that, and then a light bulb here which again should be long enough for the light to reflect and shine through. Same goes here. This time you can see for the big button the reflector is a lot bigger. The light bulb here is only one, it goes like that, and that's the reflector, and it's them two white. There are two reflectors here and here. So this is going to be hard. As far as the colors, this is also that's the third issue actually that I had with my original doing. These do not have paint, so I used white LEDs, and these actually started getting white. By the way, there is a reflector. This one here is also a reflector, a big reflector for these four. So there is a hole right there, yes. And the light bulb needs to be long enough for the reflector to actually be in the field of the reflector. So that's that. These are the sizes of the light bulbs. T4.2 I believe it was, and T3. There are no other ones. Of course there are two actual 4 light bulbs that are soldered. Then here again you have T3 but with a lot longer neck, and that's about it. So I'm going to show you one of the buttons, how it's soldered, one of these and one of these. I will see which one. I'm just going to solder one of them. No, there's no point to actually show you how I soldered all of them. Then this, then this. Let's go. Okay, now my memory serves me bad in this example, because that's the fog lights switch, and I haven't actually made it LED. I forgot that I haven't. The reason is I have another video where I actually moved those two here, where it's actually much better. So that's why I actually haven't even connected this button. Doesn't do anything, just sits there to fill in the gap. So that's how a light bulb looks. These are actually they're even messy. They go in here. As you can see, the hole is big enough for those 5mm. This is a 5mm LED. It actually goes and even wobbles. There's quite a lot of space. That's all. That's how originally it looks like. So now let's go and install LED in it. And that's the result for fog lights button. The same should go for the info and set, because they are absolutely the same. The only difference is actually this little thing right here, which makes one of the buttons stay in place. You should be careful when disassembling for those springs and balls, and those springs also, which are at the back, while these are inside of those holes here. So first the spring, then the bow on top. Be careful not to lose them because the button won't work without them. Now the headlight adjusting switch, it's a bit more interesting because it has this black thingy on top. So it looks different. Not that there is anything different to do, but it's a bit more different. Bulb size is the same, LED solder way is the same, it's just a bit different. And that's the most important switch of all, the dimming, lights dimming switch, because if you haven't plugged in this one, no other light is going to be lit. So if you're changing light bulbs and you have removed all the buttons and you're wondering why the new light bulb is not working, plug in this one. Now disassembling this one is actually hard. There are some holes that you can plug in and pull from the top and from the bottom, but I broke the bottom one. You can see here, that's the hole, and it just broke off. Fortunately, the Japanese figured out that this could happen, and there is nothing there. A little bit of light may escape from here, but that's about it. Also, try not to lose this piece, which goes inside of here and turns this one. Okay, that's the dimming switch. Okay, that's how the hazard switch look like. There is a hole there, and you can see at the bottom the sign, and that's what I actually did. The points straight up. And that's the touring computer. That's for the buttons. I'm not happy with the result, not soldering wise, but how it looks at the back. It's not good. You'll see at the end when I show you everything in the dark, but you can see half of the label is quite lit and the other half is not, but unfortunately I don't believe I can do much about it. It's an LED and there is quite I can of course I can place an LED behind each one, but that will be overkill, I believe, for 3 buttons. For now I'm gonna leave it like that. The other one, the one that places here, because I cannot solder here, I had to actually make the bulb use the base, so base is required for this. This becomes quite close to the display, and it makes a white dot in it, big white dot. So first thing I did is I actually doubled the resistance, so I use one from here and the regular one inside. So I did double the resistance, which made the LED twice dimmer, but still there was a huge white dot. And initially this LED was actually flat, pointing upwards. So I started bending and bending and bending and bending, and as you can see, it now actually bends downwards. Not quite downwards, but no light is actually pointing up to the display. And now I do not have this dot. So that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, it turns out I do have my original light bulbs for the climate control unit. That's how it looks like. It has a long neck. This one probably it's working, and this one was actually broken. And that's the broken light bulb. It's here just to compare the length of the pins to a light bulb that I got out of the touring computer. So they do look the same. Okay, now let's check the bulbs for the climate control. And that's the climate control. That's how it looks like. Now it works beautifully. So let's compare. We have only one LED here at the top, which is for those two buttons. It goes like that. Then two LEDs, one for this button, shines through here. You can see it at an angle. Come on. It's pointing diagonally. And then the other one points at that direction for the hole right there. So we have light for all of these four labels. Then for the other one, there are two LEDs, one pointing in on this side and the other one on the opposite side. These are one for this big button, the up and down button for temperature, and the other one is actually for those two. It seems perfect. Now you have to do a little bit of tweaking of the angles, because if you give it too much, you see too bright spot. If you give it too little, it's really vague. So just before finishing everything, use something small to bend them so they point on the right direction. Close it, and that's it. And final result. Let's start with the bat. On camera something is visible, something is not. You can see this is brighter than the rest, but what you cannot probably see, or at least I cannot see it on the screen right now, that these here, the two, are a little bit dimmer, just a little bit. Overall, you wouldn't notice if you didn't know. Here though, that's really bad. You can see on the buttons they actually started to wear off, and that's why I didn't put much effort into making those three buttons equal in light. As you can see, the select is shining quite well, then the reset is dimmer, and then the set is even more dimmer. Now this is quite bright, and as I explained, this is double the resistance pointing downwards, and still this is quite bright. Then we have the hazard switch. It actually does look a lot cooler, not on camera. Then I have these. Now these were different colors, as I explained when I was using white LEDs. Now when I'm using green LEDs, they are absolutely the same color, and they are perfect. That's the dimming switch right here. Dimming works, no problems. Same goes here. Now I also have here on this side the hidden button, the set and info. It's in reverse because I didn't remove the plug, but it's here. Probably I'll have to do a third time to fix a few issues. Third time is the charm. But overall, I'm quite happy. The buttons on the steering wheel are a little bit different color, and they are dimmer, which I like because they are closer to me, so they shouldn't be as bright. If I actually turn all the way down, you can barely see those, while these are visible in the back, which I actually do like. Okay, that's all. I hope you like it. Hit subscribe. I'll be posting more videos soon. Bye bye.